Okay guys, welcome back to First Gear. It's Andy and Steph. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the show me, tell me questions that you're going to be asked at the beginning of your Module 2 test. Okay, we're actually going to read them off the script, the same as what the examiner has. I'll play the examiner, Steph will be the student, and he'll answer them how we need to see them answered. Okay, so that's what we're going to go on to next, guys, the show me, tell me questions. Okay, can you identify to me where you would check the engine oil and how you have a sufficient amount of oil, please?
So first of all, I'll make sure it's a cold engine, bike was upright on a level ground, and then I'd look through the side glass to make sure the oil's between the minimum and the maximum mark. If it had a dipstick fitted, then I'll take the dipstick out, wipe it with a dry cloth, dip it back in, and then once I've removed it, check it's between the minimum and the maximum mark on the dipstick.
And where's the side glass in this bike?
So the side glass on this bike is just on the bottom on the left-hand side.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you show me how you would check the operation of the horn, please?
So, we'll switch the ignition on, press the horn button, switch the ignition back off again.
Okay, thank you. Can you identify where the brake fluid reservoirs are and how you would check that you have enough brake fluid?
So, on the front, brake fluid reservoir is just here. Make sure that the reservoir is sitting level, that it's between the lower and the upper mark. And then on the rear of the bike, we check that it's between the lower and the upper mark.
Thank you. Can you tell me how you would check the lights and reflectors on the bike?
So I'd switch the ignition on, making sure on this specific bike the engine was running so that the headlight was on. I'd check it on dipped and high beams. We'd check the left indicator, the right indicator, both on the front and the rear of the bike. I'd also check it on the hazard light switch to make sure the switch is working correctly. I'd then go around to the rear of the bike, make sure the rear light is illuminated, and I'd check it on both the front and the rear brake switches.
Okay, excellent. Can you show me how you would check the rear brake light is working?
So switch the ignition on. I then put my hand behind the bike, pull in the front brake lever to make sure it lights up on the front. I'd also check it on the rear brake lever.
Can you tell me how you would check the condition of the chain on the bike?
So I would make sure, first of all, there's no damage to the chain. I'd make sure that it is at the correct tension. So I'd find the correct tension by looking in the owner's manual, or sometimes it is printed on the swing arm or the chain guard of the bike. I'd make sure it's correctly lubricated and that the rear wheel alignment has been maintained by adjusting it evenly on both sides of the swing arm.
Thank you. Can you show me how you would check that the steering has free movement?
So I'll make sure that the steering moves from full lock to full lock. It's a nice smooth movement across the range. There's no notchiness or jolting. All the cables are routed correctly and nothing's getting caught or pinched, and then nothing is hitting the tanks as I go to full lock.
Thank you. Can you tell me how you would check the tyres and what the legal tyre tread is for the tyre?
So on a bike we are looking at 1mm of tread across the centre, 3/4 width for the tyre, around 100% of the circumference. I'd make sure I check the pressures with an accurate gauge to whatever it says in the owner's manual, or once again on the swing arm or the chain guard of the bike. With the general condition, we're looking for any splits, cuts, bulges, any tears, any foreign bodies like nails, screws, shards of metal, shards of glass, anything that shouldn't be in that tyre.
Show me how you would check the operation of the cut-out switch.
I'd start the bike up, press the kill switch, make sure the engine shuts off, turn the ignition off and reset the kill switch.
And next, can you show me how you check the operation of the brakes on this machine?
Okay, so I'd sit on the bike, I'd push the bike forwards, pull the front brake lever and make sure it stops the machine. I'd push it forwards again, push the rear brake lever, make sure it stops the machine. We're looking for any sponginess or uneven travel through the movement of that lever.
Okay, next, can you show me how you check the operation of the headlight, changing it from dip to main beam?
So the engine will have to be running for this one. So I'd switch the ignition on, start the bike up, then I'd make sure it works on this toggle switch here, going from dip beam to high beam and then back to dip. And I'd confirm on the dashboard that it's showing the high beam indicator.
Okay, thank you. Okay guys, that wraps up the show me, tell me question. So the next part, we'll actually ask you a question about carrying a pillion passenger. So we're going to move on to that now. Okay, can you tell me what adjustments you would make to the machine for carrying a pillion passenger?
So if I was taking a pillion, I would first make sure that the foot pegs are deployed. I would then increase the rear tyre pressure to whatever was stated in the owner's manual. I would adjust the rear suspension preloads, We adjust the headlight to make sure that's aiming level, and the same with the mirrors, as the bike will now be slightly tilted backwards.
Okay, what advice would you give to carrying a new passenger on the bike?
So I'd make sure that they are wearing a road legal helmet, it is securely fastened, they are wearing adequate clothing. I'd tell them to make sure they wait until I'm ready before they get on or off the bike. Once they're on the bike, to make sure they are facing forwards with both feet on the foot pegs, their hands either around my waist or on the grab rail. Make sure you keep your shoulders in line with mine. Make sure you're not looking around my body, and then you're not giving any hand signals or gestures to any other riders or drivers.
Okay, thank you. How does carrying a pillion affect the handling of the machine?
So we have A, B, C. So A is for acceleration, so it's going to take us longer to get out of junctions and go for overtakes. B is for braking, it's going to take us longer to stop, so we need to increase our following distance. And C is for cornering and control. So because of the extra weight being slightly higher up, the bike's going to tip into corners more and take more effort to bring upright and be less stable at low speeds.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can you tell me what affects the balance of the machine?
So high winds would affect the stability of the bike. Road surfaces, like poor conditions with potholes, for example, will affect it, and so will poor maintenance of the bike, so unevenly worn tyres or damage to the chain or other components.
Okay, thank you. Okay guys, so that brings us to an end for the show me, tell me questions and the pillion passenger questions. Okay, if you're not sure, okay, obviously watch it again. You can actually get a list of the questions on the Gov.Dot website, but whatever training school that you end up going to, they should be actually helping you out with these questions, because it's going to be the first thing you've got to do at the beginning of the Module 2 test. So good luck with your test, guys, and we'll see you at first gear. All the best.